We never weak until the final sign.
Tiger fans, brace yourself. It's training report time, and this one's really, really exciting, and it actually caught my eye. And there's some really great news in here that I'm sure is going to please a lot of viewers out there in relation to a couple of players in particular. I was just browsing Punt Rate N, and Caesar dropped a training report out of nowhere. Did not expect this to come out, but Caesar, the words you have written are absolutely wonderful, and I think it's really important that people get to hear what you observed. So the good news is that Noah Bolter looks to be in the best physical shape of his career. Sims resumed training from illness from last week. Dion Prestia trained 50% with the main group before doing some more running in the rehab group. But it must be said, this is the first bit of training that he's seemingly done out in public anyway for quite some time. But the main reason for the video is these two gentlemen here. Taj Hotton and Josh Gibkus trained 70% with the main group and 30% with the rehab group when the contested drills were happening. Absolute music to all of our ears. It did read on to say that Gibkus was probably going a little bit lighter at it than what Taj Hotton was. And that's okay because, like we said before, Gibkus has had those two major surgeries to the same side of his body on the leg. So he might take just that fraction little bit longer. I'm still really hopeful that we'll see him playing some sort of AFL level football later in the year. I'm guessing he's going to have to do a little bit of a stint in the VFL first just to get confidence back in the body, make sure everything's holding up and doing what it needs to do. But I think even for his confidence, it'd be good to see him get 1 or 2 games at the end. I know the easy option would be to just train the year out, do some VFL, and then put him in cotton wool for next year. But I just think for a recovery mentality and to feel like you've achieved something and you're on the right path, I really hope we can get him onto the field for an AFL game. Assuming it's warranted, of course. I don't want to just chuck him out there for the sake of it. Assuming that he's showing good enough form in the VFL, which I think he will. He's a super talented kid. Hopefully we can see some more Gibkus in the latter half of the year. And then the other really, really good news, which kind of ties into what the medical report from the club was the other day, that Lafau and Young are in full training, no longer in the contact caps. And Caesar noted that Lafau in particular is flying, and he was also doing a little bit of ruck work with Sims, Kalina, and Hayes Brown, which is really, really interesting. I guess Lafau's probably one that we'll probably see back in the AFL side sooner rather than later. He'll have to do, I think, a small stint at VFL level, again, just to make sure his body conditioning's right, the match conditioning's right. It's a long time to be out of football, and it's one thing to train and do all your running, but match fitness is totally different. So he'll need to get that there at the VFL first. But I have no doubt we'll see him in AFL level just after the mid-season break, potentially. And it's going to be really fascinating to watch him play as a second forward to Tom Lynch rather than the main forward that he's been asked to do last year, which wasn't really what I thought he'd be doing, but just due to circumstance he was. So I think he's got a lot to offer as a second forward. The way he runs and jumps at the ball, he's physical, he's strong, nice kick of the ball. I think he's going to complement Lynch really well. And then it's just finding out who that third forward is to work in with the pair of them. But the fact he's also doing a little bit of ruck work, which we did see him do last year in the VFL and in AFL level, it may solve a little bit of our second ruck dilemma. Because at the moment, we're obviously, going between Blight's tried it, Samson Ryan's tried it, but obviously his forward craft probably wasn't as good. We've tried Camden McIntosh has gone in the ruck for various stages, which I think is just batshit crazy, as is Bauer, which is equally as crazy. So the Lafau seems like he would be a really good answer because we know that Uze said in the past that when it comes to your second ruckman, they don't want to take from the back line because it causes instability and that can cause a leakage of goals. So you want to take from your front half. So the Lafau actually fits the bill really, really well. Look, personally, after having knee injuries myself and knee reconstructions myself, I'm a bit icky and iffy about him doing ruck work just from a knee perspective. But the dude's got tree trunks for legs. He's a strong guy. And I've got no doubt if he's got confidence in his body and the club's got confidence in his body, then I'll back him in to make the right call. It's just a very personal thing for me because I cringe when I see things like that happen. I'm grabbing my knee now in pain that's not even there, thinking about it. But yeah, exciting news for all of those guys. And it's kind of funny, isn't it? Because we've won 2 games, but in about 5 to 6 weeks, we're about to have some serious selection dilemmas on our hand, and in a good way, which is going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. But there you go. That's the training report for today. Again, shout out to Caesar for dropping that information this afternoon. It was lovely to read about Gibkus, Lafau, and Hotton and Young. Super stuff. And we look forward to seeing them make some more progress, and we hope to see him in the VFL shortly.